How's it going, everybody? Some wild transfer action going on this Friday. We felt like, we have a great interview scheduled later for you, but we felt like there's just too much going on. We've got to jump on. So here we are with kind of an improvised live show here. Friday. LSU already have, 10 players in the portal. And now you've got Sydir Mitchell from Texas joining, a former Bo Davis disciple, a former Bo Davis recruit. Sydir Mitchell comes to LSU. He's going to be a Tiger. This is a big depth win at a position where LSU are just struggling. Defensive tackle, a position where LSU are thin. I mean, it's razor thin, and you absolutely had to get people in. You couldn't just. You're not going to be able to depend on Jacobian Guillory to start every single game right out of the gate. You know, like, this is a torn Achilles. Like, it's going to take time for him. You've still got some young guys who are going to be very good for a while here at LSU. Dominic McKinley, Ahmad Bro. But you've got, just like almost every other position like we've talked about in the last few shows that we've done, referring to LSU's offseason, and once kind of the smoke cleared on who's going to stay, who's going to go, you knew you needed multiple guys in every position, almost as it was already. But especially now that you've lost some guys, some crucial pieces, the Mason Taylors, the Will Campbells, the Emory Joneses of the world. So now, LSU in a big moment here. You get Sydir Mitchell. Yes. Maybe not, the number one defensive tackle on the team. That's what his reputation tells you, that he's a depth piece, right? His reputation tells you this is all you're going to get from him as far as being a star for your defensive line. That's not going to happen. He's going to be I don't really listen to any of that, because I understand that was at Texas. He hasn't really even scratched the surface of the type of player he can be, and he was pretty serviceable for the Longhorns. He was all right, He made some plays. He didn't play as much as he could have, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe he's a guy who is only going to play about 30 to 40 snaps a night, something like that. Maybe he's someone they share reps with. That's fine. That works with guys like Dominic McKinley, Ahmad Bro, and then you've got to continue to pack this position. I think you're going to see at least another move at defensive tackle, at least, if not two, if not multiple more moves here. So you get 3 defensive tackles in the portal. I think that's absolutely the number there. That's what we're looking at. So, because you simply saw where, even though the defensive line they overachieved. They played a lot better than we were expecting going into the season. The JVR Suggs of the world, Gio Paez, stepped up big time. I mean, a lot of people thought he was going to be great or good at least, and he fulfilled that for sure. But when it came to the elite teams without Jacobian Guillory, who was really showing that he could be that guy in the first few games of the season, was kind of building to something. Man, oh man, that was a tough injury for him and a tough injury for the defensive line interior, but it gave opportunities to Ahmad Bro, it gave opportunities to Dominic McKinley, and they took them. Bro kind of had maybe not a breakout season statistically, you could, on paper, but as far as being a Tiger, a known commodity within the LSU nation, he for sure broke out this season, because he was playing a lot more than expected going in, and he made sacrifices for the team, gaining weight, changing positions to help the team. That gained him a lot of notoriety, and then he backed that up with some superior run stuffing play and a couple TFLs, stuff like that. He had some fantastic snaps showing what he can possibly be for LSU for the next few years. And then Dominic McKinley, multiple sacks in his last game, 2 sacks against Oklahoma. Just, a fumble recovery, I believe, against, who was that against? I can't remember who that fumble recovery was against, but yes, Dominic McKinley had a fumble recovery at some point this season. Just a very good freshman start for him. Okay, very good freshman start. You need to pack that position still. Sider, Mitchell, you need a couple more guys. Okay, you get the punter. Who was that punter? Grant. Oh God. Grant Chadwick. There we go. Former Middle Tennessee State punter. That's a story broken by Pete Nakos. It's you can just see that LSU are putting the right pieces here. Jamari Butler on the edge, Jack Pyburn on the edge. Those are 2 fantastic additions to this team. Kevin Peoples is really going to bring out the best in those guys. But you've already seen flashes and significant game-turning plays from these guys at their former teams. So they're already coming in as plug and play. Nick Anderson, yes, the injury worries are there, but 798 yards, 10 touchdowns as a sophomore at Oklahoma. That's fantastic. That gets the eyebrow raised, and that's someone that you can trust to potentially lead your receiving corps. And you got multiple guys like that throughout this haul from LSU in this transfer portal. One win after another, and we're hearing that it's far from done. There's a lot of fake kind of, hey, I've got sources, I've got Twitter Insider, type of bullshit going on. It's kind of getting ridiculous. And a lot of these people are just reading these things off of forums and stealing information from people and just kind of passing it off as their own. It's gross. And no one can really call them on it. They get away with it. It's who you are, though. And some of these people I like. Some of these people are good people, but not only are you muddying the waters professionally for people like myself who've been working really hard at this for years, but you're also kind of muddying the entire experience for people who actually want real information, not just to be overhyped every second, where everyone can just pretend that this is gonna happen. Some eyeball post, the eyeballs, or there's a billion eyes, all in a line, hurry and like this, or a picture of a tiger growling. It's stupid. It's getting ridiculous now. People trying to pretend like they know what's going on. I will tell you, this story we had no clue about. This story we had no clue about. Or this story, we knew something about it, but we didn't really know enough to report yet. We were trying to gather information and then someone else broke it. Or this is one we broke, it varies. And I told you in the last show that On3 are really just dominating and killing it this transfer portal window. They have some type of resources. Obviously, it's Hayes Fawcett, the edits. You get a ton of access to the players, but then you've got really strong reporting guys who've had to have sources for years who've been doing this, like Shea Dixon. And so you've got those resources, transfer portal access, all that type of stuff. So you've got all the sources for domination there, and they've been doing a bang up job. But it's very interesting to see Brian Kelly really just be like, no more Mr. Nice Guy, huh? No more Mr. Nice Guy. We're coming for everybody. Like Brian Kelly really felt the pressure for the first time in his LSU head coaching career. Finally, he felt that scalding pressure and was like, holy shit, these people really care about their football. Like, this is not a game to them. I can get fired next season if this doesn't happen, if I don't get in gear. It's something else. Yeah, I got followed by a few different Ole Miss media people today. And so I knew that Sage Ryan was going to be joining Ole Miss. When I heard that he was visiting Oxford, you heard whispers about this Ole Miss thing for like a few days. I'm not gonna go into it. That's the thing, is like I hope Sage has all the success in the world. I feel very strongly about that person being a very good person. And I feel like there was some things that happened to LSU to that person, Sage Ryan, that were not fair. And with in regards to criticism, in regards to the sacrifices of years of eligibility, playing out of position, all this type of stuff, and 2 years where he didn't give up a single touchdown in passing coverage. That's a stat we have posted. He led the team in turnovers. Now people are going to be spreading this type of stuff everywhere. Like, oh, look at this stat, and I just see them all mining some of our old content about Sage Ryan. Like, ooh, look at this. Oh, look at this, and yeah, it's just very strange to see Sage Ryan joining Ole Miss, but LSU put him in that position to transfer. I won't go into what happened there out of respect for all parties, but I just think the situation was unfair for Sage Ryan. I think it was really, he really had almost a nightmarish LSU career, if you think about it. What he could have had and what he probably should have had, if you're thinking about a guy who was dynamite with a football in his hands and never was really given that podium, that opportunity, that chance to be a return guy, to take that to the limit. And he played a lot of football at LSU. He played, started a couple games as a freshman, and that was the only games he played that season. Took a red shirt that year. That's why he's able to play this year. That's a cue that Brian Kelly and his staff must take, because they lost. I know for a fact they lost multiple guys to the portal because of them burning a year of their eligibility due to just bonehead decisions. Sage Ryan to Ole Miss, I wonder if that could come back to bite LSU, because you haven't replenished at the safety position just yet. The targets are there. The overtures have been made. There's been a few hits and misses at the safety position this portal window, but nothing really serious has come LSU's way. Will they pull in Jacoby Matthews? I haven't really heard anything going on with that. I haven't heard anything really going on with Jacoby Matthews. Oh, what a nice thing for him to say. Kevin Howell, what a nice comment for you to say, my brother. Thank you, man. Everybody check out his stuff, The One-Eyed Scout. That's a great photo, that one right there by Jared Paul Joseph of Jaden Daniels and Tyrann Mathieu, two LSU legends. But yes, LSU with another big win in the portal. Another big win in the portal. And yes, lose Sage Ryan to the portal as well. Lose him to Ole Miss, which is you don't want to see. It's a great tweet by Ash right there. Caden Durham is helping them get some of these Texas guys. You see Whit Weeks. Whit Weeks has been helping the staff get guys. Garrett Nussmeier has been at the forefront of them recruiting people through the portal. I love to see it. So you got Garrett Nussmeier, Whit Weeks, Caden Durham. They're getting the players activated in the process as well. Brian Kelly has circled all of the wagons, and he said, let's go. For all the people who were saying, Brian Kelly's lost the locker room, Brian Kelly must be fired, Brian Kelly's a disaster, I heard it all. You wouldn't believe. I felt like I was an LSU therapist for a while. The amount of texts, the amount of secret, Lon, I don't know what to do anymore about LSU. Oh my God. Like, you sent me that. There's probably, 90 of you who sent me stuff like that. Like, it was a dark time, that 3-game losing streak. I get it. But how could you want to blow up a staff? Because that's what you'll do if you get rid of the head coach. How could you want to blow up a staff that has Frank Wilson, Cortez Hankton, Bo Davis coaching your defensive line, Brad Davis coaching your offensive line? The two best trench coaches in the country, in my opinion, or at least they're not the best. They're up there. Corey Raymond, the DBU Miyagi himself, the man who was been there since 2007 as a GA assistant to Tommy Moffitt, got a ring for that season, comes back right there. The season he could have and should have coached Tyrann Mathieu, but didn't. Just barely misses out on being able to coach Mathieu due to Mathieu getting suspended. And Corey Raymond starts a dynasty of DBU, and just one dude picked after another. 22 LSU defensive backs drafted from 2010 to until now. 22, and 5 in the first round. 22 overall. Okay? It's ridiculous. DJ Pickett comes in this class as well. You've got – I know people were really pissed off about, we lost Bryce Underwood, but if we had lost DJ Pickett, it would have been an even worse disaster. Brian Kelly made sure, Corey Raymond made sure DJ Pickett was going nowhere. And that's why, if you had followed our reporting the entire time of the DJ Pickett saga, we were quite relaxed in that situation because we knew what was going down with Pickett, and he was all Tiger the whole time. That's a dude who can start day one for LSU. And you absolutely had to have him. You absolutely had to also have corner help, though, to help kind of bring and bridge this era alongside Ashton Stamps. Did you lose PJ Woodland? Did PJ Woodland go? Or is that a bullshit report? Because I remember Pete Nakos put that out, right? There's been a few on three have gotten wrong during this thing because there's been some retractions. Let's see, PJ Woodland. I don't have a personal connection with PJ Woodland. PJ Woodland shuts down transfer rumors, and there's been nothing else. Yahoo Sports doesn't retract. So, PJ Woodland, so far staying with the Tigers as well. Mansour Delame, there's been some. Is he going to go in the NFL draft? I don't think so. We'll see though. I mean, it's a toss up here, but why would you commit to LSU and do all this if you're going to jump ship? Corey Raymond does not usually lose guys like that. He just doesn't. He gets guys. He's brilliant at closing. So I'm wondering what's going on at safety. Why LSU has not been able to really identify and bring in the right safety targets just yet. But I'm hearing they're close. Okay, and also Sider Mitchell answers a big question up front. You've got to continue to get beef and depth there, both lines, both trenches. They're doing that. Braylon Moore's on the cusp of signing with LSU as well. But you've got to see LSU really take this to the next level where you can go get anybody at this point. Go sign Patrick Payton. He's already visiting this upcoming weekend right now. He's going to be on campus in Baton Rouge. Unbelievable defensive end for Florida State. This kid is a superstar. We got to get his exact stats. What's up, Bubba? We're going to get Patrick. Are we going to get Patrick Payton, Seiji? Are we going to get Patrick Payton? What do you think, Seiji? Are we? He's just looking at me like, what are you doing? He's all nervous. You're never nervous. That's funny. I think you know I'm doing a live stream. That's funny. Patrick Payton. Let's see. I didn't want to be wrong on these things. Patrick Payton had 16 sacks in the last 3 years. His first season only played one game as a freshman. Okay, we'll just kind of just scratch that season. 3 years of actually playing, he's got 16 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 13 pass breakups, 13. So basically, because he's an edge rusher, 13 batted passes at the line. I wonder how many of those turned into interceptions. You know, it's insanity. 32 TFLs, 110 tackles, 68 of those tackles solo. This dude is legit. He's an absolute monster. And I think he knows, just like I know, you get coached by Kevin Peoples, you're going to go and be a superstar in the NFL. Braden Swinson, if he had just a little bit more time, a little bit more help, had a little bit more luck, would have broken that single season LSU sack record this season. Fantastic specimen. Patrick Payton this year, with the pieces at LSU already right now and the pieces we've brought in, has a chance, an opportunity to break that record. And, you know, Jack Pyburn can also be extremely effective from that position. You've got Jamari Butler who's come in, who's going to be extremely effective from that position. Had, 7.5 sacks last season. So LSU have done some fantastic damage here at the edge position already, and now they're looking to do more with Patrick Payton visiting this weekend. That was news broken by Shea Dixon, our man there from On3. Shea Dixon is a fucking absolute badass, and I think the best who does the recruiting for me in the country. I can't remember a time that he's been wrong, really. Yeah, there's times he's gotten picks wrong, like everybody gets picks wrong, but that I don't really count those things, you know. I'm talking about like he got something like erroneously wrong, like, you know, I can't remember a time. So I just take my word for it. If it's coming from Shea Dixon, you know, it's gonna be solid. And he said Patrick Payton's visiting. I've gotten that to, you know, backed up, echoed by a few other sources, but it's all from Shea Dixon here that Patrick Payton is visiting this weekend. And You saw those numbers. That's ridiculous. This kid is. I think him and Kevin Peoples are going to have a good time this weekend, and I think let's the narrative has been created, and it wasn't created by the media. It wasn't created by any bullshit. It was created by absolute action. That LSU right now are on a mission to win a national championship, a mission to like go out and get the pieces to build around the pieces they already got. And it's not 100% mercenary stuff. It's not 100%, sell your soul to the portal stuff. It's not 100% anti-portal. We're not going to pay players. It's somewhere in between, in a Wild West, era. Kelly's trying to achieve that balance. And he's doing it. He's straddling that line. But right now, you're seeing Kelly at his most throw that money around. He's felt the pressure. But it's not only that. He feels the internal pressure within himself. The clock's ticking. I need to go get somebody. I need to go get this guy. I need to go get that guy. We need to solve this hole. We need to solve that problem. We need to fill that position. And right now, LSU are going on a spree, an absolute transfer portal spree. And it's a beautiful thing to see, don't you think? It's a beautiful thing to see Brian Kelly unleashed, his staff unleashed. I feel like they've been holding back on us. I feel like they've been like just kind of, what's the word? Too reserved, kind of like now they're showing that edge. And sometimes that's what happens. You do your best work. You're at your most creative. You're at your most problem solving when your back's against the wall and everything is, out of your favor. And I know I do. But Brian Kelly was motivated by that. And I think he was motivated by the vision of Austin Thomas and Jared Nelson and the guys at Bayou Traditions and some of the volunteer, hey, let me open my pocketbook, Brian Kelly. Let me help you, Brian Kelly, that he got from some of these top elite boosters. And all of these things, and I said it before, Brian Kelly has circled the wagons here, and it's paying massive dividends for LSU. There's no end in sight, it seems. Like how many, right now, I ask myself, is there a limit on who else you can get? I know we lost the battle for Luke Hodge, but I've heard that we basically picked Bauer Sharp over Luke Hodge. And so it's kind of conflicting there. And so you don't really know, did LSU lose him or, it's kind of up in the air there. But it seems right now that LSU could sign just about anybody. And I understand, you're not going to be able to sign some starting quarterback because you got Nussmeier. Someone's not going to go into that situation. I'm not meaning that, but you know what I'm saying. LSU right now, it feels like can do no wrong in the transfer portal. And when you're on a heater, you just keep the gas rammed to the floorboards and continue to get as much talent, stack that talent as much as you can, because you might lose 2 or 3 of these guys before the season starts. Such is the way of college football nowadays. So stack the positions as thickly, as deeply as you can, and LSU are doing that. Everybody, join us for a show later tonight, an awesome interview tonight. At 7 p.m. Central. 7 p.m. Central here on LSUODYSSEY.com. Streaming in various places as well, but support the site as well on LSUODYSSEY.com. But, so look out for Braylon Moore. Look out for Patrick Payton to be some of the next dominoes to drop, although there's a few other, there's been so many different guys who visited LSU recently. And we've tried to keep a running list there on the site at LSUOdyssey.com. We've got a very well organized running list of all LSU visitors and kind of the status of LSU in the portal. So check that out, LSUOdyssey.com. Thank you, everybody. Go Tigers, baby.